Welcome! In this video, we're going to create a quick retirement plan in 5 to 10 minutes. Now, a retirement plan is worthless. And you might be thinking, oh, and aren't you a retirement planner? Don't you do advice-only retirement planning? And it's true, but a retirement plan is out of date the second it gets printed. So that paper copy, that PDF version of a retirement plan is absolutely worthless just a few minutes after it gets created. We do retirement planning, not retirement plans. What we want to do is we want to update that plan on a regular basis. What we're going to go through in this video today is we're going to create a quick retirement plan in 5 to 10 minutes with the intention of updating it as we go forward, moving closer to retirement. Now let's familiarize ourselves with who we're working with, and then we'll jump right into creating this retirement plan from scratch. Let me introduce Lori and Kurt. Lori and Kurt are age 55. They want to retire at 58. They're 3 years from retirement. They make around $200,000 gross family income. They spend about $118,000 including mortgage payments. They've got about $64,000 left on their mortgage, and they max out their TFSA every year. Lori and Kurt, they have a defined benefit pension and a group RSP that takes care of their registered contributions. They have $1.1 million in financial assets, and they are 70-30 asset allocation, so sort of a mix between balanced and assertive asset allocation with fees of 1.5%. Now let's go through and let's create this retirement plan in 5 to 10 minutes. So let's start off here with the income section. We're going to enter Lori's income, which is about $80,000 per year. We're going to switch that to per annum. Kurt's making about $108,000 per year, so we're going to enter that here. And Kurt gets a bonus, roughly about $10,000, but it does fluctuate. So we'll assume $10,000 per year. When we're creating a quick retirement plan, that's all we need to enter. We don't need to worry about deductions or net income, and I'll show you how we can make the adjustment to make that happen in projections. Now, next section, let's take a look at their expenses. So in the expenses section, we're going to start with the current snapshot. Now, for their current spending, we could go through and enter all of their individual monthly amounts. It's definitely a good exercise to do, but because we're creating a quick retirement plan, we're going to start here just with those TFSA contributions that we're making. And we're going to back into their current spending, and I'll show you how to do that. Now for the retirement phase, we actually have 3 phases of retirement that we want to model out. So we are going to add some retirement phases here. First, we're going to edit this one. We're going to call this early retirement. You could call this the go-go phase of retirement as well. And that is going to go until age 69. So we've got a 10-year period or so there. We're going to spend quite a bit more. And in this period, we're not going to enter all the individual expenses. We're just going to aim for $107,000 in annualized spending. So we're just going to put it in miscellaneous here. So we've got a go-go phase, early retirement phase, $107,000 a year. We're going to make a copy of this snapshot. We're going to call it mid-retirement. This is going to go from age 70 until age 79 inclusive. So we got 10 years there. We're going to decrease this spending to around $91,000 a year. So we've got a slightly less spending in that mid-retirement phase. Again, we could go through all the detail, but for now, quick plan, we're going to skip over that. We're going to make one last copy here. We're going to call this late retirement. And in late retirement, we're going to say that they start at age 80. And we're going to maybe go to age 94, 95. There are a couple fairly good chance that they could live into their early to mid 90s. And in this phase, we are definitely going to be spending a little bit less. So it's not $91,000 a year. Let's assume it's around 74. They're spending a little bit less on travel, hobbies, and entertainment. So we've got 3 phases of retirement planning. We've got spending. We've got early retirement, $107,000 a year. Mid-retirement, $91,000 a year. Late retirement, $74,000 a year. So go, slow go, and no go. Excellent. Let's take a look at their assets next. So let's add their assets here. Let's enter their checking and savings balance. They've got about $20,000 in cash on hand, emergency fund, and just general spending. Lori here has got $250,000 in an RSP, and we've got a TFSA balance. They're roughly $120,000 each. They've been maxing it out, but just recently. So there's not a lot of growth there. And for Kurt, we've got a sizable group RSP. Kurt's been contributing for a long time. Lori, of course, has the pension. So around 1.1 million in financial assets. We could enter vehicle value here, but it's not super important. We do want to enter a home value, so we're going to say they've got an $850,000 home, roughly. Now for contribution room, we definitely want to have some numbers here. We're just going to kind of estimate this. We're going to say that they've got some past room, and TFSA contribution room for this year. Of course, we want to be able to make those contributions. So we're going to add that there as well. Perfect. Let's go over to debts now. So in debts, we just have to add the mortgage. That's their only debt at the moment. We're going to call this the mortgage here. We're going to say that it's a joint mortgage. It's got $64,000 remaining. They're at about 4%, and they're paying about $1,700 a month against the mortgage. And that's all we need to do for debts. Done. Now we can skip over some of these other sections, but we do need to add some tax and benefit information. Specifically for Lori, we need to add the pension. So we've got 58 is the start age. Pre-65, Lori gets about $35,000 a year. After 65, when the bridge benefit goes away, it's about $30,000. Lori does have a 100% indexing option, which is reflected in these lower values here. So we're going to choose that. And we've got a 60% survivor benefit. And we've got a $12,000 a year pension adjustment. This is important because it reduces Lori's RSP contribution room. And we do have to enter in the number of years for old age security. They've lived in Canada their entire life, so we're going to add 47 here. And for CPP estimate, normally we want to get the pensionable earnings from the statement of contributions, but for now we're just going to enter their salary information, going back maybe the last sort of 20 years or so. So we know that they've been making quite a bit of money over the last 20-25 years. So we're going to maybe enter this all the way back to perhaps year 2000. But we do want to go back eventually and enter the actual pensionable earnings here for both of them. And we're going to say Ken's earning 118 roughly with that bonus. We'll just copy this backwards. Now anything above the year's maximum pensionable earnings, the platform's just going to cap it for us. So we don't have to have the exact values if we know Lori and Kurt's pension here. Excellent. So that gives us our CPP, a rough CPP estimate. So let's go down and take a look in Foundation at what that looks like. So CPP estimates, we've got about 13,000, 8,700 from OAS, similar for Kurt here. So combined about 44,000 if they start all these benefits at age 65. Perfect, good estimate to start with. But again, we might want to refine that in the future. Last place we need to enter information is our investment plan. So again, we know they have 1.5% in fees. So we're going to add that here and also in fixed income. Now the other thing we know is they have a 70-30 asset allocation. So we're going to enter that here as well. 30% for fixed income. We're just going to use the general inflation rate assumption for the cash rate of return. So we'll enter that here. And there's no allocation to cash at the moment. And that gives us our net rate of return for the platform. So we're going to use 4.2%. Again, higher investment fees, more conservative asset allocation, close to balanced than it is aggressive. And for their cash account, checking savings, we're going to enter the same here. And that's it. We've got our rough investment plan. Definitely more detail that we could add in the future, but at least we've got a good rate of return for the projections. So let's go to projections next and see what that looks like. Okay, we've got our initial projection here. The first thing we need to do is we need to make an adjustment here. So remember, we didn't enter all their individual expenses in that accumulation phase. And so we need to back into how much they're spending at the moment. So we're actually going to switch this from automatic to manual mode. That just means that we're going to do whatever the contributions were from the discovery phase, and we're going to back into their spending amount. So right now we've got total spending is 0, and we get into that retirement spending we added. If I switch this to manual mode and we recalculate, it's going to make the mortgage payments, it's going to make those TFSA contributions, it's going to back into their spending. So roughly $110,000, $111,000 a year is what their annual outgoing cash flow is. And then on the very right here, we've got the mortgage payments as well. So a bit higher than we originally estimated. This is why it's a good exercise to kind of update this plan on a regular basis. Oh, and look at that. We forgot group RSP contributions for Kurt. So let's go back up here to tax and benefits. And we're going to say that Kurt is doing 3% with a 3% match. Let's go back to projections now. We'll be able to see that in Kurt's Group RRSP. Excellent. Okay. So that'll reduce the spending a little bit. So we've got $109,000 a year. That goes into retirement at 107. So pretty close, actually. They're maintaining their lifestyle. Now let's take a look at their plan. Let's explore this a little bit together and see what that initial plan looks like. So it looks like we've got the pension starting. We're doing some larger registered withdrawals. We've got a pension that slightly extends into retirement here. So first year retirement, 58. We've got a last little mortgage payment of $9,000 and then it's done. So that's great. Spending $107,000 a year, going down to 91, 74 in late retirement. We're going until age 94, 95. Net worth looks okay. We are drawing down a lot of assets by the time we get to our early 70s. Estate value is $1.2 million. Success rate not bad at 60%, but pretty close here. So we might want to do a little bit of work in the AI strategies, maybe test some spending levels to make this a little bit better. We've got CPP starting at age 65. Now let me show you what some of the options might be in the AI strategies. And again, this is where we shift from a plan into planning because we might want to explore different options over time as we get more familiar with our retirement plan and sort of what we want to focus on. So from an estate value perspective, it's definitely saying we should delay CPP for Kurt. Definitely for Lori as well. We can see the estate value is much higher if we do that, $50,000 to $60,000. But let's take a look at what happens if we start those benefits early and we draw less from the registered accounts. So let's focus on area and strategy here. And so we can see here what happens if they were to start their CPP benefits at age 60 versus age 65. And that alone is an interesting insight because if we go from their current net worth, current success rate, so 1.2 million, already we can see we drop the estate value. Our current success rate 60%. Let's enable starting CPP at age 60 for Kurt. Now we're down to 56%. And if we do it for Lori as well, now we're at 56% as well. And the estate value is down to 1.1 million. So this is where we shift from just a retirement plan and initial projection into actual retirement planning, exploring options and looking at what makes the most sense for Ken and Lori here. Now there's lots more to explore within this plan, but it's probably been about 5-10 minutes. We've got an initial retirement plan built. It looks pretty good. It looks like they're close. Age 58 retirement certainly seems like it's possible. There are decisions to make about what sort of benefit timing makes sense for them, what the spending level needs to be, maybe the different phases of retirement spending, but they are definitely on track for an age 58 retirement if they can go through and maybe optimize the plan just a little bit. Thanks so much for watching. Again, this is a retirement plan, but a retirement plan is completely worthless the second it gets created. So we really want to focus on retirement planning as an ongoing exercise. The 5 years before and the 5 years after retirement are critical from a retirement planning perspective. You want to make sure that you're on track leading up to retirement. And you want to make sure that those first 5 to 10 years of decumulation are on track and that you're not in one of those more challenging retirement periods where you have to make adjustments. If you want to create your own retirement plan, sign up for advice.ca. You get access to the platform that we just saw. You also get access to our community for support and our bi-monthly webinars. So sign up, take a look. We'd love to have you join us and the rest of the community. Thanks for watching.